Hi, I am Hatija from TruthLab. First of all, let me briefly introduce who we are and what we do. We started our channel because we want to do something about increasing spread of disinformation, especially on social media. We fact-check news stories on different topics that are currently being discussed and try to identify false or misleading information. Today, we would like to hear from our guest, Levent Kenez, perspective as a journalist and talk about how disinformation can be recognized, what effects it can have on social society and politics, and how young people can protect themselves from it. So my first question is, can you tell when a news story is false? If so, how?
Thank you, Hatice. Thank you very much for having me, firstly. Uh, well, the clue is in itself. The fake news is false news. It is false or misleading information that is presented us as real news. It's often created to influence people's opinions or to spread fastly on social media and to manipulate people. That's the reason of the fake news. Well, mostly we encounter it a lot. We come across a lot fake news during our time because there are many social media platforms and many social media users. First, I check who says this, who is the first source of it. It is trustable or not. First, I did it, and I do fact check the information because you need to verify it. Good journalism depends on verified information. Otherwise, you may be manipulated or you may be deceived by the sources. So the first thing is that who's the main source of information? You check if it is trustworthy or not. You need to fact check of the claimed or discussed issues. So you need to be very careful.
Thank you. As a journalist working in the political field, do you encounter disinformation very often and how do you combat it?
Very often, very often. If you follow Turkish politics, you come across often. Well, when you live in a country when there is not much press freedom, people rely on social media as a source of information, as a source of news stories, and everything starts here because social media is the platform of the fake news because it spreads very quickly and on social media. But to be honest, fake news didn't suddenly occur because of social media. It's always existed. It's not a new phenomena. But what made social media? Social media does it spread quickly and reach far more people. So that's why we are talking about social media and fake news. But fake news always existed. But ironically, I will tell you something quite interesting. Also, you need social media to prove it is false because we have tools there and the journalists verified check accounts. Even ordinary citizens can prove that the story is false. So, ironically, social media is a place homeland of the fake news, and also you have tools there, fact checkers and journalists. So there are many tools you use there. So social media is good and bad in terms of fake news.
Yes. Fake news can spread very quickly, like you mentioned on social media. What kind of effects can this have on society? Do you think disinformation can influence political processes such as elections or election
Yeah.
results?
Well, it may have such very serious effects. For example, it may be a part of act of violence. You can manipulate, you can provoke people. In some cases in Turkey and in some parts of the Europe, we saw this, especially against disadvantaged or immigrants groups. You can easily provoke or manipulate people, so you should be very careful. In politics, yeah, of course, during election terms, it is very widely used to manipulate people to change people views or sometimes to make people not to vote because sometimes in several elections turnout is very important, and also it distracts politicians to focus on real issues. So you have to always respond false claims. So you can never come to the real issue. You can never talk about the real issue. So it has such an effect. But I don't believe fake news is the only determinant that change the election results. Yes, it's a huge effect. But also, if you claim or the one side claims, the other side may expose that misinformation. It's not the only determinant that affects the election results, but of course, it has a huge effect.
Thank you. And finally, in the age of social media, what advice would you give to young people about recognizing and fighting disinformation?
Not only for young people, but for everyone. My piece of advice will be simple. Don't rush or believe or share everything you see online. Be patient because social media is designed to make us react quickly, but taking just a few seconds to think about it, it makes a huge difference. Before sharing a post, ask yourself very simple questions. Who originally posted this? Is there any evidence? Are reliable news organizations are reporting the same thing? If the answer is no, just stay away. It's probably worth checking before passing it on. And I also encourage everyone, not only young people again, to get their news from different sources instead of relying on one platform like TikTok or Twitter X. Following reliable news organizations and learning some basic fact checking skills can really help.
Thank you very much for your time
It was
and
a
for sharing
pleasure.
your
All
perspective with
right.
us.
Good luck.